Alright, welcome back guys. Last tutorial we left off at the robot main screen where I said this tutorial I'm going to be talking about in depth about the begin VI code. So let's get started. So this begin VI. Okay, so what does it all mean? Okay, I'm not going to even look at this camera code for now. I'm going to leave it out. Okay, so let's look at this part. So this part of the code that they provide you with default utilizes two Jaguars, two motors, as you can see on the right. Two motors, the Jaguars, and they have PWM 1 and 2 as their default thing. Okay, so this box, it's like a sub BI. If you're a Java developer, you would know that as a sub procedure or a method, if you want to call that. You don't need to know what all this inside means to code for it, but I'll explain later on video, but not right now. Okay, so all this part of the code, what it does, if you hover over this and press Ctrl H to get this context help, it shows you that the first wire is for left motor, and it's for PWM for the left motor, and the right the second one is for right motor, and all these on top, they're booleans, and the motors are inverted. So this default code that they provide you allows you to drive, or in this case we're just looking at begin, so initialize two Jaguars, and they're in PWM 1 and 2, and you can change them up according to your configuration. This is just default. And they also initialize a joystick. The way you do that is you right click, this is the functions palette, and most of the things that you're going to be utilizing during the season is going to be under WPI robotics library that they provide, so you can pin it down if you want, and it's going to be under robot drive, joystick, and open. And again, you don't need to know what happens inside. All you need is USB 1, 2, or in this year we could have used Connect, so Connect 1 or 2. And as you'll notice, after every open, see, open two motors, open joystick, there is a registry set VI. So what this does is, just like Java, whenever you declare a variable, say int, you give it a name, right? Like int something, and then you have colon. In Labview, it's the same way. You right click, and it's called registry set. So you're giving it a name, and you do that, right click and create a constant, and then you give it a name, joystick 1. So whenever you're referring to this throughout your program, you're going to call it by the name. Okay, so let's look at teleop and how it utilizes this part of the code. And before that, remember how I told you every time you open something you have to close it? The default code that they provide you, as you'll know if you go and finish, they closed it right here. Left and right motors close, and even joystick that they open, close, and the camera close. Okay, so in teleop, enabled, double click Control E. Okay, so right here, to get to the reference that you opened in begin VI, you right click, I already have it pinned down, so right click and you get the registry that you set. Remember how we set the registry as left and right motors for the drive motors? I'll open it up for you so you guys can see it. Right here, you set it as left and right motors. So, and if you want to talk to it in teleop, you get the registry and you give it the name left and right motors. So you're saying, I want the motor, the reference that's associated with this name, which is called left and right motors. Same with joystick, you get it, and this part right here, this get, is essential to this joystick get, which allows you to get the X and the Y axes of the joysticks. And all you're doing is, whenever you wanna drive it with your joystick, so if you move Y, so your joystick, if you're using the standard joystick provided, if you move up, that's positive Y, and if you move right is positive X. So moving up and down, these wires you connect to whatever drive you want to do. So you can do tank drive. As you know, tank drive is utilizing two joysticks, So both joystick up means forward, and then one back, one forward means left or right, and vice versa, and all back means back. In arcade drive, it's one joystick, and so you just drag it up like this, put it down, and it's called standard. And this reference you connect it, and then X and the Y axes, they already tell you that X axis value go here and Y axis value go there, so all you do is just plug it in, and that's how easy it is to get the robot driving using the default code that they provide you. So thank you for watching. In the next tutorial, I'll be talking more in depth about the default autonomous that they provide, and then I'm going to be talking about this time task, where what it has and what it actually is doing, and then after that I'm going to talk about coding your own to meet your needs, like say you want to code for mechanical wheels, or so just improving on the code that we talked about, the default code that they provide. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.